So Evelyn, thanks for joining us. Good morning to you. What are you seeing?
Hey guys, good morning to both of you. I'm so glad that you mentioned Lululemon already because, as we know, we already saw their earnings and the market was a bit disappointed. So I have seen a bit of that sentiment facing Nike as well ahead of their earnings report this afternoon. But as far as Nike, it really seems like it's all about the shoes on social media. People are tweeting about which shoes they want to buy or which shoes they can't get their hands on because, they're too low in stock, they're too high in demand. But I want to start it off with a couple of tweets that I found. And the first one is a tweet from a Twitter user named Raquel Jane. And Raquel said that she's in love with her new Nike Air Max. Who am I? I've been buying nothing but sneakers and athletic wear. And like Raquel, I saw a lot of tweets referencing these shoes, the Nike Air Max, as well as those Nike Air Force shoes, and plenty others. But that was definitely a common sentiment that I saw on social media. Another tweet that I found though is in response to one user suggesting that Nike may get massacred after their earnings report today. Just like we saw some other companies recently as well. And this Twitter user said that I don't think they will. People are panic selling before the report, but nobody is realizing that Nike has sold and continues to sell tons of stuff online, especially more due to COVID and stimulus checks that came. So I like how these tweets sort of go together because you have one user specifically talking about what they want to buy, what they have been buying, and then here from a more broader market perspective, maybe people were using those stimulus checks to go out and buy athleisure and athletic wear. We sort of thought the same for Lululemon. We talked about that as well before their earnings. But, again, like we saw out of Lulu, the market was just disappointed that they couldn't beat those estimates. So, guys, I'm really wondering what you're thinking as far as does Nike have something, else up their sleeve that Lululemon and even, Gap's Athleta brand didn't have to make their earnings report a little bit better this time around?
What I think, Evelyn, is that Nike has what you just mentioned. Actually, I think you put your finger right on it, and that is the evolution and now the pending dominance of their direct-to-consumer business. I think the demand for athleisure in the new stay-at-home environment has really catapulted Nike as well as Lululemon, and I think how quickly and efficiently they have the infrastructure set up for direct-to-consumer. Guys, they came in 3 days. There it is right there. I ordered them 3 days ago. They came yesterday. So, I mean, Nike has an unbelievable infrastructure set up to get your apparel and shoes quickly. It's real, and the quality of Nike. I think personally that they've made great strides in the quality of their shoes. So all these things, there you go. Look at, there you go. The old red, white, and blue. So, and like I said, it's unbelievable how efficient they are, and their direct-to-consumer business is set to explode during this period. So, and I think Megan's data that I'm glancing at, we're about to discuss it with, is going to show that. So that's what I think is going on. I think Nike has lost none of its popularity. If anything, it's gotten more popular, guys.
No, I think it's interesting, Kevin. I think, Evelyn, they have the luxury of going second. You talked about Lulu already reporting. They can take notes. The market reacted in certain ways, but they're also 5% lower than where they were before the shutdowns. Lulu was about 20% higher than the pre-shutdown levels. So it's from a different place in the stock price, too. I'm interested to see how that maybe impacts the reaction in these earnings. But, hey, Evelyn, we got to run. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Evelyn Baker, Fast Market Contributor. As we say goodbye to Evelyn, we want to welcome in Megan Brantley, the VP of Research at LikeFolio.com, to continue the conversation around Nike here as we go into earnings around this company, which, hey, let's be honest, the Nike swoosh, one of the most recognizable logos of all brands. So brand power is a huge component here. But to Kevin's point, too, I mean, it's recognizable and powerful because there's a perception of quality around Nike products, particularly footwear.
Yeah. First off, Kevin, love your shoes. Love that you're engaging
Thank
in the
you.
the direct to consumer market. I think that that's really been the story with Nike lately, is just how successfully they've transitioned and been able to connect directly with their audience. They're extremely in tune with their audience as well. Whenever we look at mentions of people talking about interacting with Nike, even over this quarantine period, we see those purchase intent mentions on the rise. And a lot of this is being driven and weighted heavily toward that direct to consumer. So people using the sneakers app, people ordering things from the website. So I think that there's a little bit of inflation, are these direct and digital purchases enough to offset the store closings that Nike is facing? Probably not. However, I think that the explosion that we're seeing and the adoption of these apps and the adoption of people who are willing to go and just buy something directly from Nike's app is absolutely insane. I think that we'll show that chart in a minute, but you can see, I think that mentions of going direct to consumer was something like 170% higher in the last 90 days versus the past year. That's an insane number, and that's an insane amount of growth. You can see it right here circled on this chart. So the digital adoption is definitely accelerating through COVID. And so I think this is definitely a bright spot that Nike's going to touch on during its earnings release.